fishing news is brought to you by Navionics, Okuma, Yozuri, Evinrude, Llama Glass, and the Star Island Yacht Club in Montauk, New York. Welcome to this week's video fishing forecast. I'm working from Florida for the next few weeks and hope to bend a rod at some point during my stay. Looks like the weekend should cooperate, but it will be a chilly one. If you're not going to get out there and fish, consider checking out the Steiger Craft Factory Tour and Open House with Al Steiger and see how his boats are built. And that will be on Saturday and Sunday, November 9th and 10th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. Meet with engine and electronic manufacturers, see the new 2020 Steiger Craft models on display, talk fishing with Fisherman's Fred Golofaro and Mike Caruso, and there will be factory and dealer incentives, food and door prizes too. Order your custom Steiger craft and be ready for the 2020 season. And check out the Fisherman's 2019 Dream Boat Grand Prize. Register by calling 631-286-2136 or email receptionist@steigercraft.com. Steigercraft is located at 99 Bellport Avenue in Bellport, New York. Now let's get to the latest from Montauk with Fred Golofaro.
Hey Tim, blackfishing in Montauk still excellent. In reality, most of the boats are running up to that Fisher's Island area, but fishing still excellent for the most part. Fish up to 7 pounds, green crabs, white crabs. There was an 11.5 pounder weight at Montauk on the weekend. There was also a brood of 18.1 pounds weighed and released by a Montauk boat. So there are a few of those real big bulldogs around, but again, for the most part, the fish are 4 to 7 pounds and plenty of limit catches. Some blackfish also over at Block Island, but Block's really the place if you want sea bass and porgies. That fishing holding up very well there too. And Montauk had a wave of small bass move in. They're out in the rips, not on the beach, but they're out in the rips. Captain Savio Mizzi told me Monday and Tuesday he went out, fished pretty much as far as you could see, all up on top from the harbor to the lighthouse and even down the south side. So a lot of fish still to come for you guys down along the south shore. But again, very good fishing in Montauk, and those bass, boy, I tell you, if you like light tackle fishing, you can't ask for more than that. Catch 40, 50 fish on light tackle, that's a heck of a day. Tim, back to you.
Let's check in with Mike Dean from Shinnecock.
Thanks, Tim. Bass bite has slowed down a little bit. There's still a decent amount of fish around. They just don't seem to be as aggressive. A ton of those 26-inch fish that were just swarming the beaches a week or two ago seem to have either moved on or have just moved off from the beach. Jig bite off Moriches still seems to be pretty good. A couple of weak fish as well in the Great South Bay and also in the inlet. At night seems to be kind of the best bite for stripers off the beach, taking mostly darters, swimmers, and the ever popular bucktail. First light, there's still some fish, and the back bays between Shinnecock and Moriches still have some fish in them. We'll see what happens now. They're really getting this cold snap. Hoping this weekend is going to be lights out. Kind of hope for that every weekend. Blackfish bite is pretty good out on the wrecks. A lot more keepers coming up there. And, I don't know. It's unfortunately we're getting deep into the season, so hopefully these bass will stick around for a few more weeks and blackfish bite will keep going strong. All right, talk to you guys next week. Get out there, catch them up, have fun.
If you're looking for a quality fishing boat, one that's affordable, check out a Sea Pro powered by Suzuki. For less than $400 a month, gets you into all the action. Visit Kale's Family Boating Center for a test ride today. Now let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti from the Great South Bay and Fire Island area.
Hey Tim, Fire Island report. Looks like Saturday's going to be the day to fish. Striped bass in the neighborhood, a lot of short fish, and there's a bunch of fish 15 to 20 pounds. Take it on live bait inside the inlet. So striped bass is looking good. Blackfish also, if you can find a good piece that hasn't been banged up too badly. And since Saturday looks like such a good day, even offshore, there's some big tuna fish still around out there. I heard of a 600-pound plus fish dropped at the Coimbra after a 3-hour fight. So that's pretty much it for this weekend. Like I said, it's going to blow pretty hard Friday and Sunday, but Saturday looks like a great day to fish. Break out the long underwear. It's going to be chilly.
We have a new correspondent this week, Gaige Simon with the Jones Beach Report.
Thanks, Tim. As the temperature drops, the action's heating up here on the South Shore for anglers that are heading out of the Jones Beach Inlet. Whether you're fishing from the beach or fishing from a boat, the average size schoolie has been 22 to 26 inches with the occasional keeper mixed in. Guys are heading out of the inlet going east about 1.5 miles offshore, and the bird action is absolutely phenomenal. With an abundance of sand eels in the water, the bass are breaching the water everywhere. I had the pleasure of fishing with Michael Myers, a.k.a. Captain Joe, over the weekend, and Jed and the boys, we landed a lot of schoolie bass in a few hours. We had a great time doing so, and on the same day, Captain Ed of the Nose Tackle headed west out of the inlet about 5 miles west of the Pink Hotel to an area known as the Roundhouse that holds a lot of bait fish. And he snagged a bunker on light tackle and landed this 43-pound striped bass that absolutely inhaled his live bunker. So, guys fishing on the bunker pods have been catching bigger fish. Guys night fishing with live eel have been doing very well. And to switch it up, guys that are fishing for blackfish are doing absolutely phenomenal, catching a lot of personal bests this year out of all the reefs and wrecks that are out of the Jones Inlet, whether it be the Three Sisters, Cholera, the Hempstead Reef. Fishing has been very good in our area. We're hoping it's going to continue to be so good for the next 5.5 weeks for the fall run. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water.
From Oceanside, let's check in with Captain Joey Leggio.
Hey Tim, what's going on, bud? How you doing? Hey guys, just want to apologize to my followers. Didn't get the reports in last week. I've been working on a new house like crazy, so to my guys that were looking for me, apologize. Thanks for being loyal fans. Awesome. As for the reports, let's go there. So my report's coming out of Debs Inlet. On Saturday, I took out Mike of the Wildflower. I ran his Grady for him, took a couple of his buddies out. We went trolling for bass. It was a 2 fathers and 4 kids actually on the boat. It was a lot of fun with the kids. We went out trolled. We got the guys some bass. The biggest was 36.5 pounds, trolling the white spoons and the mojo combos. On the following day, I took my brother Richie out. Came up from North Carolina to pay a little visit to me. It was really rough conditions. Shouldn't have been out there probably at one point. It was so bad. But we trolled and we just couldn't do it. It wasn't going to happen. Waves were crashing over the side of the skiff and definitely was not safe at all. So decided to just hit the reef, anchor up, and we went for blackfish. Good move on our part. We found a spot. The first spot actually had nothing, just some shorts. Went on a second piece, and that piece was loaded with some real true jumbo blackfish. We had a lot of blackfish, and we ended up with the 3 biggest fish. We had a 9 3/4 pounder, we had a 10 1/4 pounder, and we had a 10.35. All those fish were taken on AB Reef, and all those fish were also taken on green crabs with conventional standard hook and sinker, and also on the jigs as well. Awesome fish. I pulled 3 that size. My brother had a blast. Took the fish home to North Carolina, and he was smiling the whole way. On what did I have now? I had Roy and Joe the following day on that. I believe it was that Monday. Roy and Joe came out with me. They wanted to learn how to troll. I took out there 28-foot tide water. Great boat. Guys had a lot of fun. Ran out of Jones Inlet. We saw some surface life. Not so much the bird life, but we saw the surface life. The bass was slurping on the surface, eating what appeared to be some sand eels and stuff. Pulled back on the throttles, threw in the spoons and the mojos, started trolling, and within 5 minutes, Roy connected with a beautiful 42, almost 42 1/4 pound striper. From there, we continued to troll, and we ended up with 7 fish, and we called it a quits with only a couple hours of fishing. The bite was really good that day. All the boats around us were catching, so those bass are still there. So, and that's, starting from Jones one day, the next day we had them out of Debs. You got to get out there. There's still plenty of life out there. The water is getting colder. It was I believe it was like 57.5 the other day when I was out. The life on the bridge, I haven't really been fishing that bridge too much, so I really don't know what's going on. I'm pretty sure it's starting to slow down, but again, I can't give you a fair report on that. Other than that, that's my report.
Looks like Paul McCain has a fly report also from the western South Shore.
Hello, Tim. Here it is, November, and I gave myself a challenge. My challenge is I'm going to fish every day. My waders are not going to be dried off. So I've been out there. Sometimes I'm out there for a day. Sometimes I'm out there for an hour. Sometimes I'm only out there for 15 minutes. But that's what I'm going to do. Every day I'm going to get out. I can't catch fish if my fly's not in the water. Now, it does pay off because of Jones Beach. I had a really nice striper about 20 minutes into the slack, it was great. It's good to get out there. It's always good. Now, on the freshwater, we had our club trip, our shop trip, up to the Farmington. Tough fishing. Cold and tough. I saw one fish caught. But I did get a lot of practice with my two-handed rod, so I had a great day. Everybody does. It was a group. We had a barbecue. Everybody had a good time. It is the last trip of the year. Now, in salt water, we also heard of Joseph D. He caught his first striper in the surf right here at Fire Island. Guess what? He didn't catch his first. He caught 25 that day. He's hooked. He's really hooked. And otherwise, it's been people aren't getting out. Get out where you can. Here's the challenge. Keep those waders wet. That's the challenge to you. Tight lines, everybody, and see you next week.
Another last-minute report from Chris Ludwig.
Thanks, Tim. What's going on, guys? So this past week, the fishing was pretty good. I started off in the west end of Jones, throwing crippled herring jigs and diamond jigs off the jetty. Basically just following the birds wherever they were going around. That's where those sand eels were. And once you got those jigs down to the bottom and gave them a couple turns, the bass usually jumped on them. I had fish from 18 to 24 inches, give or take, for that day or two. And then other than that, I was fishing my local bridges, bucktailing, using ounce to ounce and a half bucktails when the current got really quick, using 2 ounce, just white, Andrus jetty caster, any of them. Basically casting up current and letting it sink down and then swinging to the bridge, swinging all across that shadow line. We did fairly well. I had a couple decent fish. I had a nicer one last night, and it's looking good for me over here. There's some bigger fish moving into my inlet, so I'm a happy guy. There's been a lot of bait too in the back. I've seen some shad, I've seen a bunch of bunker, so things are looking up, and hope to see you all out there. Take care.
From Sheepshead Bay, we have Luke Feeney.
Thank you, Tim. Hey folks, it's great to finally have some good fishable weather again, as these past few days the fall action continues to be really solid on the days that you can get out. To start, the bass are all over off Atlantic Beach in 60 to 70 feet of water with the bunker pods. Offshore of the Atlantic Beach Reef is a great area this time of year where you can find the bait to troll those spoons down nice and deep at 55 plus feet. There have also been a lot of smaller fish with some nicer bass in the mix, closer to the shore with the bunker and smaller rain bait pods in 20 to 30 feet of water on both casting lures such as storm shads and on the spoons as well. The schoolie action has been great over the last few weeks right by Coney Island under the birds, throwing small presentations like swimming plugs and storm shads. There have been a ton of threshers being caught while trolling the spoons also, and they are in with the bunker pods, and my dad caught one trolling for bass today that was around 80 pounds, and he lost one last week that was 350 plus pounds. The bass are definitely still around, and you can troll those spoons for the bigger fish or grab the spinning rod and have a blast with the schoolies. The blackfishing has been really solid, mainly on the Rockaway Reef and areas such as New Bottom, the Mud Buoy, and the Fisherman Buoy, as well as the Scotland Rocky area. The key is to have the perfect bait, which is nice small white crabs this time of year. People have been killing them on both the conventional rigs and the jigs. My buddy DJ Spadaro had an 18.1 pound tog the other day fishing locally and released it the following day after keeping it alive that night at the dock. There are trophy fish, they're definitely out there if you want to put in the time, and some other areas that are producing some smaller blackfish are the Marine Park Bridge and the Manhattan Beach Reef. Be sure to get out there this week and try your luck at some great fall fishing and a chance at a fish of a lifetime. Until next week, tight lines.
From the North Shore, we have Captain Mark McGowan.
Hey, the fishing continues to be going really strong here up here on the North Shore, whether you're down in the river all the way stretched through Huntington into Cold Spring Harbor. There's been nonstop blackfish. The biggest one we had in this week was from young Dwayne Romans of the Huntington Anglers. He brought it in over 9 pounds. Great fish. Congratulations, Dwayne. And kudos to your dad, Steve, for getting you out all the time. That's a real future Sharpie here we got. Now, if you're on the bass and the bluefish, there's plenty of them around. Just follow the birds. They're on the beach. They've been out front, inside the bays. Majority of the smaller baits I'm seeing are starting to really empty out of the back harbor and now shift on the front. We've got flurries coming up, so you've got to be aware of that. That might change up what we've been doing as far as depth-wise. The water's down like around mid-50s, and it's going to continue to get cooler, which is probably going to push those blackfish and sea bass down into a deeper water. If you're on the boat, especially with the fellas below 24 foot, be very aware of the conditions. Up here on the North Shore, you can have flat seas, switch over on a wind against tide type situation and suddenly become like 2 to 4 foot rollers. If you like to anchor off of the stern, I really bid you not to. That can pull the boat down when these high seas come and cause it to flood very rapidly, and then capsize the boat. You always have to think about dressing warm, whether you're on the surf or the boat. Remember, this type of year where a little bit of hypothermia can come in, and it causes confusion and you know, just stuff that's not good for you, and it never goes bad until it goes bad. So be prepared, watch your equipment, stay organized, make sure your engines are running peak. You don't want to get stuck out there, and make sure that if you are on a boat, your radios work pretty well, because there's not a whole lot of boats out here right now. People are continuing to pull them as we get closer into these November dates. So let's keep it safe out there and just have a great time. I look forward to seeing you again for the next report. And until then, tight lines.
Peter Tranowski is back with a North Shore report.
Thanks, Tim. Well, this is my favorite time of year. I love to go blackfishing, and there's certainly been no shortage of keepers out there. Blackfishing has been very good for me and for my buddies as well. My buddy Brian Locke yesterday came back. He had a 26-inch blackfish. It was an absolute beast. Very jealous. Wednesday, I had an opportunity to go out with Captain Mark Gary, also known as Kid Cochise. We were out. He's another blackfish fanatic, and we were out for about 12 hours that day. The fishing was good. The weather was terrible, but the fishing was good. A lot of keepers on deck, and it was a lot of fun. I also learned a lot. So you can see more about that in his Instagram feed or on his YouTube channel. That information will be in the comments below.
Taking these guys out some nice weather.
Haven't been targeting striped bass, but been going after them when the opportunity presents itself. And a lot of times on the way to the Blackfish grounds, I would see some birds busting somewhere, and we'll go after some bluefish and striped bass during that time. Blackfishing, it's been better to go across the sound over to the Connecticut side. But the Port Jeff area, you hit the middle grounds, you'll do well over there too. Hopefully this continues. The weather's still on and off. It's just more bad than good, but I'm trying to squeeze in any time I can. You have to be flexible with this time of year. You have to be able to take the opportunities when the good weather windows come up. But when they do, definitely get out there. The blackfishing has been great. Thanks. Back to you, Tim.
Our surf report is from Senior Editor Fred Golofaro.
Well, just really good surf fishing continuing, Tim. Loads of fish down along the South Shore, some very, very good days. Still the beginning of this week, Monday and Tuesday, got very good reports, especially that Mid-Island area. You know, Fire Island, Robert Moses, Smith Point, Fins down through there. But, you know, it's basically from Southampton beaches all the way to Breezy Point, getting good reports. Here and there, an off day, you know, bright sunny days during the day, fishing not so hot, early morning bite. Sometimes fishing lasts all day long, especially on those cloudy, overcast days, rainy days. But lots of good fishing. Plenty of fish, 20 to 26 inches. Some, you know, some peak keepers, some bigger fish up to 35 inches. I'm hearing of mixed in here and there. But perfect, you know, for light tackle. Just a lot of fun, good numbers. Diamond jigs and tubes, bucktails seem to be working pretty much all over the place. Again, it's pretty much on sand eels. There are bunker along the beach. There are a load of bunker along the beach at Robert Moses on Wednesday morning, but no fish on them. So again, it's primarily the sand eel bite. Also heard of some decent fishing up on the North Fork, a mixture of bass, blues, and a few albies. And by the way, no bluefish at all am I hearing about anywhere along the South Shore. They're just missing in action. There's just none around. In fact, the Riverview Striped Bass Contest, where they also have a prize for bluefish, a 4-pound bluefish took a $2,200 first place prize. So that tells you there's just not many of them around. Getting back to the South Shore, you know, Bill Muller had a really good day at Robert Moses on Tuesday. A lot of fish on bucktails. Nicole Cook also had a bunch of fish Monday, Tuesday. She had them up to 35 inches. Again, just a lot of action and a lot of fun. And when the surf is calm, you can break out the light tackle. You can really have a ball with these fish. And get out. What can I tell you? These fish should be around, through the month. Hoping we don't have any major storms, but like I said, it's still a lot of fish. A lot of fish coming through Montauk now, out in the rips, not in the surf, but out in the rips. So those fish still have to come through. Tim, take it away.
If you'd like to be part of our weekly fishing forecast, we're looking for social media savvy anglers for hyperlocal reporting from around the New York and Metro and Long Island area. So if you're a captain, a tackle shop, or just an avid angler, contact me at libayrat@gmail.com. Remember, like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, be a subscriber to the Fisherman magazine to be part of the Dream Boat contest. Like New England Fisherman subscriber Peter Lewis with this 10.85-pound blackfish, or Long Island Fisherman subscriber John Celio with this 14.62-pound blackfish. Stay warm up there, and as they say down here, see y'all next week. Win the incredible Steigercraft Evinrude Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2019 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details now at thefisherman.com.